Hey, what are you doing here? You know, it's me, your girl Shea Coulée from season 9 of RuPaul's Drag Race, and I am here to show you guys all of my tricks and my transformation. I am going to give you my best melanin goddess and go from this to this. So, you know we call it painting for a reason, and first step to any successful painting is you got to lay down a nice primer, a great foundation on your canvas. So I go in with a nice heavy foundation and just completely cover up all of my features. Now that I have my foundation on, the next thing that I want to go and do is my contour. And I'll just start right up at my ear. Follow my cheekbone, and then because I have a masculine face, I take it a little bit lower and just kind of come down towards the corner of my mouth. And I actually use two contour colors. This one is the first, and it's just kind of like semi-deep, and then I go in with another one that's even darker. My best advice is don't be afraid to go darker. Embrace that beautiful melanin, and don't be afraid to really deepen those skin tones, because it really will create a lot more dimension and richness to the face. So I'll go in with like a much darker one now. I'm using a flat brush here. I love ones that are a little bit more rounded. This one is slightly smaller because it'll give me some sharper lines for those really deep creases in the face. And you just want to take the darker color from the contour, and after you lay it down, just pull it in towards the center of the face and just blend that out. And I like to take my nose contour and pull that right over into the crease of the eye. So moving on to the highlight, I like just like a nice good paint stick because it's just easy application. Start right under the eye, draw upward to create that nice cat eye. Going to go right now and do an extreme highlight under my brow, because later on this is how I know where to draw on my new eyebrows. Some queens glue theirs down. I actually just shave off the outside half of my eyebrow and then I just draw on the rest. Time to blend. I just use a standard, just like beauty blending sponge. Always want to get it wet first because I use cream-based products. So in order to get a nice, good blended job, you want to get this a little bit damp. Pounce that product in there. Just be careful when blending, especially since you've already laid down your contour, to not go over those like sharp lines that you've created, so that you don't get left with a look that's a little bit more muddy. Because yes, you want to be blended, but you also want to still see some of those nice sharp lines that you created with your contour. Then what I'm going to do is do some of my sharper, less blended highlights. So I'm going to do the bridge of my nose next. You know, I try to LaToya Jackson my nose, get it nice and thin. I'm going to go in with my white and a little flat brush again. And I'm going to go and lay in where I'm going to create the cut crease on my eye. So I'm just gonna go literally the bottom edge of the brush. I just go right over the fold on my lid. And I just follow that and bring that right down next to the outside edge of my lash line. And then get that bottom corner. And I normally take this one just to the outside of the iris. Now it's time to set this bitch. A lot of melanin rich queens don't tend to set with neutral set because I'm sure they're under the impression that it will leave you looking ashy, which it does at first, but I will teach you my tricks to help get that looking real cute. So first I start with the lightest area of the eyes. Lay that down so it doesn't move around once you start pouncing the darker areas, because you don't want to transfer any of the darker color into the lighter areas. They don't call it beating your face for nothing. I'm just gonna go through and start buffing off that excess powder. So now that I'm done with that, what I do is I go in with like a NC55 to warm up the skin tone a little bit. And we're gonna go much deeper, but this is just like a nice layer to kind of kick off some of the white from that neutral set. I'm gonna start warming up my face a little bit more. Nice kind of desert rose blush. And don't be afraid to be liberal with the blush too, because what I've learned is it tends to be one of the first things that kind of fades, because it's just like it's a very loose powder sitting on top of the layers of makeup. One thing that I've definitely learned through the process of doing my makeup is that more is more. You know, if you blend it right and you have the right intention, more is always a good place to go. I'm gonna punch this up a little bit, add some red. With darker skin tones, primary colors are really, really great. They actually neutralize themselves a lot better on darker skin than they do on fair skin. So it's really easy to kind of go in there and push in these really bright colors. See what happened here? I went just like a little bit past the contour that I laid down, and that is totally all right. An easy way to fix that. Take some neutral set. And for symmetry, even though the other side was cute, I'm still gonna do the same thing. Makeup in general, not just drag, is you could use different products for different things. Sometimes I even use eyeshadows as blushes. I have like this nice kind of ochre here, and I'm gonna go in there with my blush brush too. And since this is like more of an orange, it'll kind of serve as like a nice mediator. So now that I have those colors on, I'm gonna go in with my contour powder. So basically where I already went in with the cream, I'm just reinforcing with this powder to kind of punch these colors out. And then just blend, pulling that out onto the bridge of the nose. And I'm just gonna come right in, and then I just, in circles, blend it out. So I go in with a nice angled eyebrow brush. First I start off with taking my eyebrow hairs and just brushing them straight up. Typically you want to start right above where the iris is. If you draw a line from the outside of your nostril through the eye, you'll see it's like right here. So I start there. I like to just use strokes because even though my eyebrow is more blended, it still kind of gives the illusion of like little hairs. So I just like to fill it in like that. And then I just work it into my natural brow. If there's one single thing that I spent like the most like time on, it would probably be brows and eyeliner are pretty much hand in hand. You know, because if like the eyes are like the tits of the face, the eyebrows are the bra. You know, they really help to showcase the eyes, so you want to make sure that they look good. Once I've achieved a general eyebrow shape that I'm pleased with, I go back in with my highlight and a little detail brush, and I do a highlight over the brow to help pop that out. And then lastly, I just like to go in right at the insides of my eyebrows with just a little bit of eyebrow gel in a brown. Just like to go into my eyebrow and those natural hairs and just kind of comb them out to get kind of like these little just fuzzy lines going to make the brow look a little bit more realistic and less perfect. Time to start on the eye makeup. So I'm gonna go in with like a nice like burgundy here. Start defining that crease that I drew in earlier. Take a little bit of a fuller brush, go in with this nice kind of like warm terracotta. I'm gonna go in with a nice kind of like warm dusty pink right under the brow here. I'm gonna go with a little bit of a flatter brush, and I'm actually going to use my contour powder for this one because it's a nice warm brown. I'm gonna start going underneath the eye to kind of make this a little bit deeper too. I have just a 24-hour cream color in this nice sparkly purple called Mystery. Literally, this is like about all you need for one eye. And start laying that color right here in the inner corners of my eye, I'm actually going to go in with a lighter color because I like to keep that really bright and open. And then this, kind of how I'm making like a crescent moon with it, underneath is going to be where I lay in my black eyeliner. So I really don't need to put any product down there because it's going to get covered up anyway. Okay, next I'm going to go in with the inner corner with a nice crystally silver liquid liner. So the same way I've like outlined this shape here when I put down my white cream, you're just going to follow that. Create like a nice little ombre effect. Ain't that sexy? Oh, now it's time for liner. I like to start off first with a little felt tip, nice sharp marker. Look at how nice and clean that is. What I'm going to do first is kind of just like outline the shape that I'm going to do, and then later I'm going to go in with a liquid liner to just get it nice and dark and black. So first I'm actually going to go and define the crease, and this is something that's important for both the camera and the stage because we're creating all these dynamic shapes in the face, and it's like really important that we keep them nice and sharp so that, you know, they really do read. I'm going to use the little beveled side for this. A nice little sharp beveled edge that I use to create the top of the wing on my eyeliner. Draw that wing down, connect it. So now I got that general shape. Just go and fill that in. Now I'm just going to go in with a liquid and just clean those lines up and get it nice and sharp. Make sure you get right down real, like, far into the lash line, because one thing you'll notice, especially when there's photographs and queens have dark lashes on but they haven't fully put the eyeliner all the way down into the lash line, you see this like little white line over the eye that kind of distorts the way your eye looks. So you want to make sure you get like really deep in there. You're gonna want to go in with your mascara. Get those last little bit of your eyelashes that have foundation and setting powder. Get those nice and dark. All right. I'm going to move on to my lips now. I'm going to start off with a nice dark eggplant. Start on the outward corner. Because even if you have really full lips like mine, you still want to overdraw them slightly because it helps to create a lot of dimension. In order to create more of a pout, you want to kind of contour the outer corners of the lips a little bit. There's a huge trend right now for overdrawing your lips, which is cute, but you always want to keep it in proportion. Especially if you're going to overdraw your lips, it becomes even more important to contour and make sure that you do a nice ombre. Because if you do just a flat matte color, which are very on trend right now, it makes it very obvious that you really overdrew your lips. So if you want to go for that illusion, you need to take extra time to make sure that you contour that and make it look right. Now I'm just gonna go in with a slightly lighter color to blend that. I love lip liner, it's so important. Lip color, I'm gonna do just a nice little nudie, nice nude kind of, very similar to like my nail color. See, like, ooh, look at that. This is a liquid lipstick, so this dries matte, stays on all day. It lasts forever. It's amazing. And I essentially go in and fill the spaces that don't have the lip liner on there. I'm gonna go in with just like a little bit of like a highlight shimmer. So I'm just gonna smile, dust that on the apples, kind of follow that cheekbone. Nice small little powder brush. I go right in between my eyes on my nose. And then I like to leave like a nice little break and then just go right here. Last thing to do are lashes. I use 301s, so I mean that's just a standard drag lash. Since they could get heavy and droopy, when you put a little bit right on the top of the track, once it starts to dry and you go and push the lash up, it'll give you a nice little curl. Just lay that right down in the lash line. Gorgeous. Lashes take a little bit of finagling, but when they're right, girl, they're right. A little pièce de résistance. Just a casual little beauty mark. just in case they need a reminder of how beautiful you are. And then at this point, there's only one thing left to do. Doesn't she look glamorous? Voulez-vous coucher Coulée Chante, you stay. Always remember, never be afraid. More is more. And if you want to stay up to date on all the new Shea Coulée news and content, go to my website, www.sheacoulée.com. You can also find me on Twitter at Shea Coulée, Instagram at Shea Coulée, and Facebook as, you guessed it, Shea Coulée. Until next time, guys. Bye.
Hey, squirrel friend! When one video ends, just open up another one. It's called binge viewing. Go ahead. I support you.